All right, here I am hiking out on the trail, and I want to take this opportunity to talk about something I wasn't sure I should make a video about, but I did mention this in a past video. I want to tell you why you should not buy a Zoleo GPS SOS device, at least until they come out with a different version. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to get right to it. The reason why is because you cannot text directly from that device. Now, I'm not talking about texting your friends and family while you're on the trail. I'm talking about being able to communicate with search and rescue, and I'm speaking from first-hand experience. Last October, me and my brother Matt encountered some hikers at Mount Whitney that were in desperate need of help, and they had a Zoleo, but their phone was dead, and they weren't able to text search and rescue, or anybody else for that matter. So they were able to send out a SOS with their Zoleo, but after that, they didn't know if they were coming, when they were coming, or anything. So me and Matt both have Garmin's, and by the way, I used to own a Zoleo. I'll get into that in a minute. Me and Matt both have Garmin's, so Matt used his device to call for search and rescue. And not too long after that, they responded, and they said, "What's the situation?" We talked back and forth with search and rescue for like 5 hours. They asked us, or more. They asked us the condition of the person, how many people were injured or whatever. They wanted to know how much the person weighed in case they needed to send a helicopter out. You know, if there's two people, you know, they might not be able to get them on a helicopter. It's too much weight, especially flying up to 11,000 feet where we were. They wanted to know if, we verified our location. They told us the nearest spot they could land a helicopter was about a mile down the hill. So, knowing that, we were able to eventually get this person moved. We had to carry her down about a mile of very rugged terrain. If those people had to rely on their Zoleo for help to arrive, she might have died. Okay? The search and rescue told us that we saved her life and that timing was crucial. She was suffering from altitude sickness, exposure, just general exhaustion, and she also had an asthma attack. So a lot of stuff going on there. And they said, this woman would have died. So using the Zoleo, they wouldn't know if a helicopter was coming. If so, they didn't know where to go to meet the helicopter. My brother texted so much, it was like $50 worth of text messages back and forth to search and rescue. I mean, we're talking about dozens and dozens of messages back and forth. Even once we got to the helicopter landing zone, he was talking to them. Okay, first we were talking to search and rescue. I guess that's Garmin. And then they ended up connecting us to a local sheriff in Lone Pine, below Mount Whitney. And we ended up texting with him most of the time. And, it took them a while to find a helicopter. You don't know, put it this way. You don't know if a helicopter's going to come at all. And if the weather was bad, and you're sitting up there waiting on a hill, not knowing what's going on, you could be waiting for a helicopter that's not going to come. Okay, it's not unusual for search and rescue to take a couple of days to get to you. And if you need a helicopter and it's snowing or something, especially at that altitude, you're in trouble, man. So you need to know, hey, if we're not going to be able to get a helicopter, then you need to figure out a way to get the person down the hill. So having the ability to text from the device was crucial. Now, Matt was actually able to text using his phone because, you can connect your phone to a Garmin as well. But it also has the Garmin's and other brands too. I'm not being sponsored, by the way. The Garmin's, as well as other brands, you have the ability to text directly from the device, okay? There's a screen on it. You can read stuff on it. You can read your messages on it. There's a couple of buttons you can use to type a text message. It's, it's tedious, but it can be done. So if your phone dies like these people, then you still can text and get out of trouble. So when we got there, their Zoleo was just sitting uselessly flashing on a rock. They didn't know if anybody was coming. They didn't know anything. So if they would have waited on that hill, this woman probably would have died. So I can't stress enough how important it is to be able to text from the device itself. You don't want to have to rely on your phone. I had a battery bank with me that I was using for my GoPros, and I offered to charge the guy's phone, but he didn't have the right cable for it. He didn't even have the charging cable for his iPhone. So we couldn't charge his phone so he could use his phone to communicate. So Matt ended up using his, which is fine, and we're totally glad we could help, man. We weren't able to summit that day. We ended up going home. It was a 9-hour ordeal. We found them a little after 2 a.m. and the helicopter took off with her at about 11. So we weren't able to summit that day. Totally fine. Hey, man, this was a very important thing that we did. We don't regret it. So if you're out, especially out in the wilderness like that, you gotta have a device you can text directly from. I cannot stress that enough. Don't rely on your phone. That's 2 pieces of equipment you have to rely on. You have to rely on a GPS working and your phone. And you have to rely on the Bluetooth connection between the two. So I used to own a Zoleo, like I said before. And the actual reason I took it back and got a Garmin is because my brother already had a Garmin. And 2 weeks earlier, we were at Mount Whitney before. And we separated, trying to find some people that separated from us. And we weren't able to text reliably back and forth to each other. So he told me, hey, man, if you're going to go out there again with me, you got to get a Garmin, dude, so we can message back and forth. And so I did. That was why I returned the Zoleo. I had I didn't really realize how important it would be to be able to text from the device until 2 weeks later when we helped these people on Mount Whitney. That's when it really hammered home to me. Oh, my God. So I'm not being paid by Garmin. There are plenty of devices out there you can get that are similar that you can text from. Do not get a device you cannot text directly from. Now, I like Zoleo. They're a cool company when I was using their product. And it was a reliable product. So I hope they come out with a model soon with a screen that you can text from. Because without that, I just can't recommend getting a GPS device that you can't communicate directly from. It's just silly. That's my message to you guys. If you want to watch the Mount Whitney video and see for yourself how things went, I'll link to it up here and down in the description. It's the most watched video I've ever made. I don't make money off this stuff, by the way. The woman we rescued and the other people all commented and, said good things about it. So I encourage anyone to watch that video. It's had hundreds of comments from people saying they learned something from it. Some of them said they're going to, change some of the stuff they carry in their backpack because of that video. So I feel good that it was able to help some people. A tragic situation like that, brought some good. We were able to save that woman. They said she would have died. She was in the hospital for a couple of days. And like I said, she commented on the YouTube video, which made me feel good because I felt I wasn't too sure if I should even make a video out of it, Here's one other thing I didn't really care about with Zoleo. Now, one of their features, they say, is that you get a unique phone number for your device. Sounds good until you start getting spam calls because your new phone number gets on all the lists just like any other phone you buy. So I started getting spam messages, and you got to pay for those messages. So I had to email Zoleo and say, hey, can you remove this? Don't charge me for this message, And I got like 3 of them within a few weeks. And so that's not really good either. You don't need your own unique phone number. So Zoleo, please, I love you. Upgrade your product, and I will recommend you wholeheartedly. Right now, I just can't do that. I've seen it for myself. You have to have a device you can text from, period. All right, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. You can leave your comments below if you want. Have a great day. I'm hiking in the rain. Hiking in the rain. All right, take it easy. Be safe out there. And for God's sakes, go outside and play.